Today, the topic of our discussion will be focusing on the regional crisis in focus, Myanmar, the South China Sea, and Korean Peninsula at the upcoming ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia.
China just released the new map, so some country, even including Malaysia, denied the map that just recently issued by China. So I think that dialogue partner of ASEAN, United States does not have enough power to solve the issue in South China Sea, and United States will not be able to solve the crisis in Myanmar. I mean, even though we have so many issues in ASEAN, but still there are more opportunity and good chances for ASEAN country if they know what they have to do, if they know what is benefit for their country. When Cambodia was the ASEAN chair, we completed, the most important achievement. Cambodia was very successful during the ASEAN chair last year, but this year is not the term of Cambodia to lead ASEAN anymore. So.
Very good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Asian Vision Dialogue. Today, the topic of our discussion will be focusing on the regional crisis in focus, Myanmar, the South China Sea, and Korean Peninsula at the upcoming ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia. And I am pleased and honored to be joined by Dr. SEUN Sam, researcher at the Royal Academy of Cambodia. So without further delay, please join me in welcoming Dr. SEUN Sam to our program. Greeting, Dr. Sam.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much once again for taking your valuable time joining us today. So, Doctor, with regard to the upcoming ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, I would like to pose a few questions to ask for your insight regarding what will be happening in the upcoming meeting. So, first of all, could you tell us what are the priorities for Indonesia as the ASEAN chair at the upcoming ASEAN Summit?
Thank you so much, Sreynou, for your invitation. Last 2 weeks, I was invited to join in the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy that organized in Indonesia, and that is the conference in collaboration between the East-West Center of United States and Foreign Policy Community of Indonesia. I was there, and then we talk a lot about ASEAN issue. Yes. So regarding to your question, let me tell you just a little bit about before Indonesia start to be the ASEAN chair this year, is that many countries and also scholars around the world, they are very positive and optimistic on the Indonesia ASEAN chairmanship. That is very different from Cambodia, because I remember before Cambodia become the ASEAN chair in 2022, there was some country that criticized Cambodia, even Cambodia, before Cambodia started to be the ASEAN chair. But for Indonesia, some country, they started to praise Indonesia before Indonesia become the ASEAN chair. But the problem that I noticed, even though many people, they strongly hope on Indonesia ASEAN chairmanship, but the problems is still be the problems. There are many issues that ASEAN or that Indonesia as the chair of the ASEAN will face, and I think that Indonesia still cannot solve, is that we have some challenges. For example, the crisis in Myanmar, yes, and that is still ongoing right now, and the South China Sea issue that some members of ASEAN involved directly in that conflict, and also the crisis the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. Even though Ukraine and Russia are not a member of ASEAN, but the issue is still be the problems that ASEAN need to balance, because ASEAN also have to talk something on that issue. and also the Korean Peninsula issue also be the problem. And like yesterday, there is one hot issue, and I think that it will be happen during the ASEAN issue is that China just released the new map. So some country, even including Malaysia, denied the map that just recently issued by China. So I think that during the upcoming ASEAN summit, there are many problems that will take place and that will control the ASEAN summit this year.
All right, thank you, Doctor. How about when we talk about the summit, that we already know some priorities issue that will be put into the discussion. But we have heard that President of the United States, President Joe Biden, will not attend the ASEAN summit. So what factor that may have influenced President Biden decide not to attend the upcoming ASEAN summit?
I remember when I was in Indonesia, the ambassador Dino of the APCI, he strongly talked to a representative from the U.S. Department of State about the ASEAN culture. If you read the statement of the White House, they may say that because the president's schedule is very tight, so he could not join the ASEAN summit. But in ASEAN culture, is even in Cambodian culture, showing your face or attendance is very important. So I think when President Joe Biden, he does not come to join the ASEAN summit this year, I think that is not fit to the Indo-Pacific economic framework, or that is not follows through the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy, because under President Joe Biden, he said that the United States is strongly committed to strengthen the relation with ASEAN. But it is funny, when you say you commit to strengthen the relation, but you do not come to join the meeting. That is, I think that, but I cannot find the right words to describe. But we have our own culture, showing your face or attendance is very important. But even the President Joe Biden will not come to join. But Vice President will come to join in the ASEAN summit. So it is hard to say, but the United States is one of the powerful country, and in ASEAN country for all the time, if you join any discussion in the region, we always talk about ASEAN and United States and China, United States. So it seems like because the U.S. is one of the powerful country, so when the President of the United States, he does not come to join, there are many discussions on why he does not come and why he come to Vietnam in September 10, and then why he ignore ASEAN summit. So many discussions were raised in each conference. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Interestingly, when, as you mentioned, that U.S. is one of the powerful country. So can you tell us a little bit, so how does the absence of this President Biden absent in the summit will impact the regional ability to address some regional challenges, such as we mentioned, that like in the South China Sea, Korean Peninsula, Ukraine and Russia crisis, or even the crisis in Myanmar?
I think even though President Joe Biden will come to join in the ASEAN summit, the problem still cannot be solved. Because United States will join only as the dialogue partner of ASEAN. United States does not have enough power to solve the issue in South China Sea, and United States will not be able to solve the crisis in Myanmar. And the reason or the impact that the President Joe Biden, he does not come to join, I think there is no any impact on ASEAN, and there is no, because even though when he come, the problem will still be the same. And for example, if you focus on the South China Sea issue, I think if President Joe Biden joined ASEAN Summit this year, the problem, I believe it would be more hotter than this. I mean, because he may talk something that is not, I mean, that will provoke some criticism or some more trouble in the South China Sea issue. So there is no any impact. So the impact is that, in my own perspective, the United States will lose more power in ASEAN, because if United States really want to strengthen the relation in ASEAN, it is important to come and join the meeting. So when the United States, I mean, when the president does not come, so the impact or the powerful of United States in ASEAN will not be more like stronger, like the expectation of some people. Yeah.
All right. Doctor, so could you list down a little bit about the ASEAN member states? So how do ASEAN member states view the external power role, especially China and US, in resolving some regional crises? And we can say that what steps that are being taken in ensure that their involvement is constructive and beneficial to the region?
It is hard to say, but because if you join the discussion or the conference in ASEAN country, everyone will go to join the meeting with different perspective. But what I want to tell you is that every country, they always represent the benefit of their country. For example, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, or other ASEAN countries, they may go to join the ASEAN Summit, ASEAN meeting, in order to protect the benefit of their country. So it seems like if we talk about the United States and China competition, because in ASEAN, I don't want to say we have different leaders, but I mean, in ASEAN countries, every country, they have different benefit. Some country, they may want to be more closer to United States because they believe that United States may protect their security, especially when they have border issue with other country. So some go to United States or to be more closer to the United States because they hope that the United States will protect them. But some country in ASEAN, they may want to be more closer to China because they hope that China can provide them more economic development or economic support. So if any country, they know that they want the economic support or want the security protection, they will go to that country. So that is what happening in ASEAN right now. So in short, many issue in ASEAN, but also many opportunity for ASEAN country. But the only point that ASEAN, I mean, even though we have so many issues in ASEAN, but still there are more opportunity and good chances for ASEAN country if they know what they have to do, if they know what is benefit for their country. So if you want me to list down, I cannot list down. I just say that there are so many challenges, but at the same time also many opportunity for ASEAN country if they know how to take the benefit from their dialogues partner or from the association.
All right, yeah, thank you, Doctor. That's very insightful. So we come to the last question, and we want to look at Cambodia. So in light of the Cambodia recent chairmanship of ASEAN in 2022, so what lessons or experience that our new Prime Minister Tesa Pibabenda Honmanait plan to bring into the table of discussion at the summit? And we want to know that how does he intend to leverage Cambodia leadership in promoting prosperity and peace in the region?
I think because this year Cambodia is not the ASEAN chair, Indonesia is the ASEAN chair.
Yes.
So it is important to, I mean, just to follow through the ASEAN chair. That is the kind of respect. But because Cambodia is right now is a member of ASEAN, so we are not the chair anymore. But Cambodia can issue the statement, can discuss, or can talk to ASEAN members. But I don't think, what is important for our Prime Minister right now in ASEAN is that it is important to go and join the meeting and discuss, and also showing your face. Because that will be his first time in ASEAN Summit. So greeting our other ASEAN members is very important, and then just follow through the chair. But at the same time, because I know I'm not really quite sure what he will bring to the ASEAN, but last year Cambodia, when Cambodia was the ASEAN chair, we completed the most important achievement. Cambodia was very successful during the ASEAN chair last year, but this year is not the term of Cambodia to lead ASEAN anymore. So follow the agenda or follow the chair is very important. That is a kind of respect. So yeah, that is my sole idea. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Doctor. So I think we have covered everything for today. So thank you very much once again, Doctor, for your participation and contribution. I look forward to having you again in the next episode.
Yes, thank you so much, Sreynou, for your invitation, and it is my honor and my pleasure. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Asian Vision Dialogue has now come to an end. Thank you for watching. See you next time.